How's it going, everyone? Ben here from Augment Guitars, and the day is finally here. The build is done. So I've been playing this thing probably for the last 6 months or so. These videos were filmed over the course of about a year and a half, so this was finished quite a while ago. So I've had a chance to play this for about 6 months or so. And it's been great. Honestly, this has been one of my #1 guitars since I finished it. And I have about 8 over there on the rack that are my personal builds that I built. And I really like playing this one. The one thing I like about it probably the most is just this oil and wax finish. It just feels amazing. The neck is super smooth. There's literally no drag like you get on like traditional like gloss necks and things like that. You know, there's a lot of friction, and sometimes you can bind up. But with this oil finish and sanding it to about 800 grit and then doing that buffing process with the Odie's oil just makes it play super smooth. It just, the whole thing feels really natural and very comfortable to play. Another thing I really like about the build are these lumen lay dots. I have a little tool that you can charge them up so they are nice and bright when you need them to be. And specifically, I really like the side dots because I feel like that's where lumen lay, no pun intended, really shines, because you can charge all these up, go on stage, or maybe if you're just, you know, kind of playing in a dark room or something, they just light right up and you can see where you need to be, and honestly, they're great. So super happy with this build. And yeah, I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. But I know we heard some tones in the intro song, but let's go ahead and kind of break those down. Go kind of each pickup combination, do a dirty tone and a clean tone, and see how, you know, the pickups sound on their own. So let's go ahead and do that. And if you're wondering what picks I use these custom Augment Guitars Dunlop T3 picks. They're a 0.88 millimeter thickness, super sharp, super precise, and they come with a complimentary pick bag that you can throw in your case. So you can support the channel by buying a pack. you can buy them in the link below. So thanks. So like I said earlier, overall, I'm really happy with this build. And for the most part, I wouldn't change a thing on how I did everything. But there are a couple things that I almost wish I would have done ahead of time to make this play a little bit better, or have a little bit more adjustability, or miscellaneous things like that. So the first thing that I would probably do, and I wish I would have done this before I kind of finished everything, and if you saw on my channel, about a month ago I uploaded a video about how to start building your own guitars, and one thing that I cover in that is that sometimes with Partscasters, the neck and the body and things like that don't always line up. And one thing with that is that this bridge, I don't know if it's the style bridge I chose or just how the builder did it, this bridge actually needs to come forward about 1/4 of an inch or so. So these saddles don't have much adjustability left. They're really, even some of these springs are kind of, not tight in here, which I'll probably have to get some longer springs to accommodate for that, but pretty much there's no more room to come forward with this. So I would have to move this bridge and all the ferrules and all the holes and everything forward to fix this. And I might fix this one day. Right now it works, and I think if I went with a little bit heavier gauge strings or different tunings, I think I'd be fine. I'm kind of on the cusp here of adjustability, but I would need to either plug these up, or what I would probably do is just get, they make ferrule blocks, which is usually a machine piece of either wood or metal that you can replace this with. And that would kind of cover up the existing holes, and then I would just have to drill new holes and probably do some pickup routing to slide this about 1/4 of an inch forward. So that's the first thing that I would probably change. The second thing is with just the neck and the heel and everything. I was kind of deciding if I wanted to do this originally, but I was thinking maybe reshape how this heel is. It's a little bit blocky right here. I wish it was a little bit easier to hold in the hands. The handshake is kind of cuts in your hand a little bit because of when I was sanding this, all the old finish off, there isn't that much meat left around in this pocket. So the neck plate kind of cuts in your hands a little bit. I can kind of take off the hard edge of that eventually, but what I would have liked to have done is Fender it's a 4-hole, but it has more of a contoured heel, and I'll put an image of that on the screen so you can see it. And then that would allow me to kind of take off this little corner right here and maybe reshape this whole neck heel to be a little bit more comfortable. Now you would still see the hole, this 4th hole here on the neck plate, but I could probably fill that with some sort of maple dowel, restain it, refinish it. You'd probably still see it, but there wouldn't be a big hole there. So definitely would be functional. So those are the first 2 things I would do. The second thing, and I'm probably going to do this in the near future, is I use 250K pots for both the tone and the volume and the tone, which that was what the Seymour Duncan wiring diagram that I followed recommended for this configuration with the coil tap and everything. But it's a little bit too dark for my liking, to be honest with you. They sound good, they're nice and warm and thick, but I'm missing a little bit of bite, and I think, changing these out for 500K instead of the 250K is what I want to do. So that's one thing I am going to change here in the future when I get some time. I mentioned earlier that I did a couple improvements, or not improvements, but I changed some things and I kind of fiddled with the setup. I actually put some lighter gauge strings on this. The custom string joist set, I forget, it was a 10.5 to about a 54, I think, 54 or 56. It was a custom set that I put together, but it was just a little bit too heavy. For what I play now, I play primarily lighter strings on like my, standard E tuning guitars. I play 9 to 46 strings, just because, working on guitars all day, and honestly, I got a little bit of carpal tunnel. My wrists and hand strength isn't what it used to be. I know I'm only 31, but That's kind of what I'm facing right now. So light strings and low action is where I like to be. So I threw a set of 10 to 52 strings on here, which is just a little bit lighter than the set I originally put on there. And I think that's the sweet spot. That's where I feel comfortable playing this. So I think it plays great. I got the action super low, like I detailed in the setup video, and I'm really happy with it. And the last thing that I'm going to be doing too is this bridge pickup here. I didn't put enough foam in there when I originally put it in there, so it's a little bit crooked, and you can see it's kind of leaning back a little bit. It still sounds good and it's functional, but I am just going to replace that with some denser foam that's a little bit taller, because the foam that I used wasn't that tall, and that in combination with the pickup springs made it kind of cock back. So I am definitely going to be adding and replacing that foam and making that sit, parallel with the strings. So other than that, wouldn't change a thing on this. I love the finish. I love all the hardware I chose. The pickups, I love these pickups too. Once I changed out these pots, and yeah, perfect. If there's anything that you would change, any feedback you have for me for this build, or even future builds going forward, leave those in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys would have done. And just like that, that concludes the eBay Telecaster Revival series. It's been a long time coming with this series. Like I said before, I started filming it probably about 2 years ago, and it's crazy to see, the first episode versus even this episode or the last one, just how much I've improved with, my workshop, my tools, my camera equipment, and editing and all that stuff. If anybody wants to go back to the first video, the worktop that I was working on was 2 sawhorses, a 1/2-inch MDF, and a piece of old carpet, because we just moved into our house, and I didn't have any workbenches or anything set up, so I just had to willy-nilly put something together. And it worked. But I'm super glad I started filming that day. I just on a whim was like, hey, maybe I should film this and make a series out of it. And this is what it grew into, 14, 15 episodes later. So really want to thank everybody for, watching these videos, your support. I've gotten a lot of awesome comments and messages and stuff like that, just saying that I've helped them. And actually, I've had people reach out just with other questions about their own builds, and I'm always happy to help. So if you ever want to reach out, feel free to. But thank you all for your support. Thanks for watching this. And there's going to be more series coming, more videos coming. So be on the lookout. And if you have any suggestions of videos you want to see, or tutorials or anything, just drop them in the comments below. Always looking for new ideas to do in film for you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.